playing against the world #1s, the dominant force on this year's Swatch FIVB World Tour. From Brazil, Ricardo Alex Costa Santos and Emanuel Rego. Ricardo and Emanuel, as we know them. There is Ricardo, the blocking machine as he's known. Just over 2 meters tall, 6'7", and that's going to be the main obstacle that the two Swiss boys have to go past at the net today. And they've started very well, have Switzerland. Stefan Kobel in the white hat, Patrick Heuscher just putting the ball away in the black cap. Heuscher slightly taller of these two, so the guy in the #2 vest for Switzerland, you'll see him up at the net more often than not. Stefan Kobel, former semi-professional goalkeeper, he does all his work in the backcourt. Heuscher though bangs that one into the net. Now you'd hope that there would be a bit of home crowd advantage for the Swiss. The stadium's not that full, the conditions are pretty cold, but people just starting to come in now. And the people that are here are trying to support the Swiss team as much as they can. You'll hear plenty of shouts of Hauptschwitz after the performance of their football team so far at Euro 2004. Well, the Swiss beach volleyball players have given them a nice respite from that. All three Swiss teams have performed very well in Gstadt, and all three will finish in the top 10. Heyer and Egger and the Lassigers have already gone out, but they've placed 7th. Great dig. Kobel and Heuscher, though, will be hoping to go a bit further than that. Great finish from Stefan Kobel, and this is a good start. 7-5 for Switzerland in this first set. Apologies for coming late to this game, but we'll be with you for live coverage all the way through to the end of this first semi-final. Finish again. Third time these two teams have met this season on the Swatch FIVB World Tour. And on both occasions, Ricardo and Emanuel have come out on top. In the final in Salvador, fairly convincing victory for the Brazilians. They've also had a semi-final battle. Once again, Ricardo and Emanuel just too good for the Swiss side, and that's the problem for Kobel and Heuscher today. They have not played well against the Brazilians up to now, but this is a very encouraging start. And Kobel, who's getting a lot of pressure on service, dealing with things very well. Stefan Kobel in the white hat, the knee support on. Talking of knee supports, did we have a dust-up yesterday at the women's event? Brilliant beach volleyball all round, some wonderful drama and entertainment. And eventually, Misty May, stomach injury and all, with her partner Kerry Walsh, took the title from Bahar and Schelder. So USA 1, Brazil 2nd. Holly McPeak and Elaine Youngs of the USA in 3rd. A slightly more multicultural feel to this lineup here today for the men's competition. Switzerland versus Brazil in semi-final 1. Semi-final 2, we'll have recorded highlights for you at midday Central European time on Eurosport. That involves Jonas Recke and Markus Diekmann of Germany, vastly improving beach volleyball team, up against the return of the bad boys, Benjamin Insfaran and Marcio Araujo of Brazil. Back to the action on centre court. Unconventional attempt at defence by Kobel. I think he was just caught out a little that Emanuel actually did go line. There's so much cross-court to aim at. Trying to make an ice hockey goalkeeper style stop there. Didn't work. Now how can Kobel and Heuscher stop this Brazilian side today? Kobel with the pass again. Well, that's a start, and if Kobel keeps hitting like that, he really is getting some height out of the sand today. Hitting very free, and that's when these two play best, when they're relaxed. And that's when their natural talents come to the fore. Kobel is an absolute genius defender when he gets things going. But that's not going to be the problem for him today. The problem is getting past Ricardo and round Emanuel. But it's another point chance. That is a hit again. The chicken wing effort by Emanuel. A little bent arm thrown out to the side to try and make the play, but too much heat on it from Stefan Kobel, and they are moving Ricardo around very well at the net. Now, if Kobe can keep this together, then the World Tour leaders, who've played 5 events this year and have made 5 finals with 3 wins, well, they're going to have something to think about. Emanuel not passing well. Again, he's on it. Free ball chance now. Now, in these situations, this is where Patrick Heuscher has to weigh in. Heuscher 1.93 m, so not the tallest blocker on the tour by any means. The guy in the black cap for Switzerland. Has to provide more of an obstacle for Emanuel to go past. So eventually Emanuel puts the ball away. And Brazil stop a rather worrying run from Switzerland as the cheers of Hotschwitz start to ring out around this stadium. First mistake we've seen from the Swiss. Stefan Kobel with a tight set, just hitting the ball out to the side. Well, right from the off, it's been pretty obvious that the Brazilians, Ricardo and Emanuel, have decided to go with a 50-50 blocking defense strategy, both sharing the duties on the court. So a good shot from Kobel after that little mistake and a couple of just shaky hits. He's back on form again. That's absolutely crucial to how this pair performs, because you can bet your bottom dollar that Ricardo and Emanuel in your picture will be serving the guy in the white hat for Switzerland all of this game. So there's the successful attacks, 9 from 14 from Kobel and Heuscher. That's good. Ricardo and Emanuel 6 from 13. And it's mostly been the defence of Kobel that's done the damage. Well done to those guys for getting up and down to the stadium for this early start. It's not the best of weather for beach volleyball. Just look at the dramatic clouds gathering behind the mountains. We are so used to clear blue skies as far as the eye can see for this event over the years. But it was rainy yesterday. It's pretty damp and cold today. And maybe that's been the problem for Ricardo and Emanuel getting started in this match. Good height from Ricardo, and Heuscher saying no touch, but that's irrelevant because as Ricardo just points out to Patrick Heuscher, the ball was about a metre in anyway, Patrick. Emanuel to serve, the guy that won his first professional beach volleyball tournament in Brazil at 16 years of age. Has never played anything other than beach volleyball. Whereas so many of the European athletes start indoors, and then as they start to get older, the knees start to creak, they move out onto the sand. Well, that's not the case anymore for beach volleyball. Athletes are starting younger and younger and specialising younger and younger. Good play, Heuscher. Oh, straight down. Makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, doesn't it? What a shot from Kobel. But all the credit, and I do mean all the credit, goes to Heuscher. Presence of mind to turn, and then what a set onto the net. That is a classic finish from the Swiss, and they maintain their discipline, they maintain the pressure on Brazil. Nice comeback from Ricardo. Ricardo takes it all personally, I can tell you. You hit hard against us, and we will come back with even more heat. Reminds me a bit of the Untouchables film. You put one of ours in the hospital, we put one of yours in the morgue type stuff. Oh, too good. Patrick Heuscher gets his first opportunity to side out. 26 points without a service to his name. Finally sneaks over and grabs one. And how's this for cool? What a cut shot. And Ricardo, not renowned for his defence, caught flat-footed. Well, they're serving Ricardo at the moment, and I'm wondering if they just fancy keeping things a bit quiet for Emanuel, trying to peg away with their side-outs and maintain that 2-3 point cushion, and then when we get to crunch time, go back and test out the man in the yellow cap. Emanuel to serve. Good shot. And I wish more players would do this. Everybody thinks beach volleyball is about shots and finding the sand, and on this new 8x8 metre court, it's not. It's more about the power, testing the block out. And yes, you're going to get blocked now and again, and Kobel knows that, especially against Ricardo. But he wants to establish the power early on, and that's exactly what he's done. And on that occasion, smashing it straight off the hands of Ricardo at the net. Well, the Swiss keeping the pressure on. A couple of service errors. Decision by the lines people, pressure on them, and they certainly felt the pressure yesterday. Bonnie McPeak and Elaine Youngs exploding at one of the line judges during their semi-final. Very high reach from Stefan Kobel. And it's all about ball control. At every stage of that part of the rally, the ball was in front of the Swiss players, and when it's in front of you, you can see everything, you can control everything, and it's an easy game when you play it like that. Oh, he's got him! And Ricardo doesn't like that. He really takes these things personally. He does not like to be blocked, he doesn't like to be dug, and that is emphatic. Patrick Heuscher with a brilliant shutout, and this is very encouraging for the Swiss. It's obscene, isn't it? The height that these boys get out of the sand. Just incredible. A few repairs being done to the court. Emanuel and Ricardo get away with the points, so they reduce the deficit to 4. 21 points the target in this first set, best of 3 set semi-final. It's a tight one, and it's blocked. And that's the value of Ricardo. You will almost never see him let a ball past that is blockable. You have to do something special to get through. Just hangs the hands out. Drops it back into court, so the deficit reduced to 3. And a timeout called by Switzerland. Exactly the right thing to do by Stefan Kobel and Patrick Heuscher. Kobel and Heuscher, after finishing second in Salvador in the first event of the season, really had a bit of a lean spell until Budva in Serbia and Montenegro, where they managed to pick up a 3rd place there. So their initial world ranking of 2 has dropped down to 4. A result today would be crucial. Ricardo and Emanuel still lead the World Tour rankings and the Olympic rankings, although they didn't play in Carolina in Puerto Rico, the last event. But it mattered not in terms of Brazilian results. Cunha and Para won that, and Cunha, still under 20, the youngest ever winner of a Swatch FIVB World Tour event. Good to see Barassetti and Conde in that final. The Argentinians had a lean spell in the last season or so. They were back in the final, got 2nd place, and the veterans, Tange and Franco, both the wrong side of 35 years old now, they took 3rd. It's back to Europe, and this event in Gstadt. Emanuel restarts after that time. How dark are those clouds? It's up, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And equally so from Stefan Kobel. Emanuel just epitomises quality defence. So fast around the court, that's the first thing, but when he gets to the ball, doesn't panic and swing arms at it, he just lets it do what it should do. Volleyball is a rebound sport, and he does that so well. He lets it rebound off his body and into play. And on that occasion, rebounds it off the top of Patrick Heuscher's block for another point. So 19-16, these two teams actually very good friends. I think many of us who've watched beach volleyball over the years suspect that that is the problem for Ricardo and Emanuel. They have tried so hard to get mean for the last 2 seasons. And every time they just forget themselves in a match and start smiling and shaking hands, and that's better. That's a bit more mean from Ricardo. But to take Olympic gold, they're going to need that edge to their game. Ricardo already has a silver to his name in Sydney with his previous partner Zemarko. Great shot, Kobel. No right to put that ball down, but he conned Ricardo. He let Ricardo think that he was going cross court, and as Ricardo just shifted that block across, daylight opened up on the line. And with that shot, Stefan Kobel takes Switzerland to set point. Too good. The line shot, the most destructive shot in the game of beach volleyball. And if you can get it tight to the line and down into that back meter corner, you've got to be a special defender to be able to touch that. Still set point. Emanuel to jump serve. It's a jump float onto Kobel. And it was the right idea from Kobel to try and force that off the block. Unfortunately, Ricardo got those enormous hands around the ball, and what he did was force it straight back down onto the body. In fact, the foot of Stefan Kobel. And if it hadn't been for that foot, the ball would have been out. Bit of pressure now for Switzerland. Still set point. But they need this one now. It's up. Oh, bad set from Ricardo. And the chance was there for Brazil to draw level at 20 all, and it just drifted over. Patrick Heuscher with a great block to force the play down onto the Brazilian court. And Switzerland take the first set by 21 points to 19. Very good game. We've got to force the play down onto the Brazilian court. And Switzerland take the first set by 21 points to 19. Very good game. We've got. They've done the right thing. They've put heat on the ball whenever they can. And at the moment, Brazil just struggling to contain that. It's up again. Well, unlucky from Patrick Heuscher. He had to play it over then because it just got a touch on his block. And that counts as one of the 3 touches in beach volleyball. So by the time Kobel had played this, it had to come over, and Heuscher just tried to drop it short. So 1 point apiece, but early alarm bells for Brazil. 2 shots and 2 defensive plays from Switzerland. That's the right idea from Heuscher, and that's what you've got to do. If your opposition wants to drop you in short with the service, then that's fine, but these short serves are easy to pass. So why not pass it high on the net and let the big man do the work? Great thinking from Switzerland. And that really sums up what they've done in this game. They've thought very well. They've not been afraid to go for their services, and of course you're going to make errors. But why not? Get yourself in the groove. Don't play nervous, play relaxed. And you will have chances even against the best team in the world. What a shot again from Kobel. He's hit hard all the way through this match. absolutely flies out of the sand here, finds the space, and a cut straight down. Ricardo there fishing out on the line, having got a couple of blocks on him at the end of set one. You can understand that. He just gets so much height from the sand as Emanuel. He is so balanced in the air. Debate about the greatest ever beach volleyball player in the men's game rages on continually, but for my money, Emanuel and Kaj Kirai up there. And the ace to prove it, straight through the middle from Emanuel, and that's going to give them some encouragement. Ricardo and Emanuel have had 1 or 2 8 or 9 point runs off the back of Emanuel's serving in some crucial games. And for the first time this morning, the Swiss crowd just realising who Kobel and Heuscher are out on court with. We've got another debate. Ricardo says ball out. Naturally, the Swiss say ball in. But such is the respect between these two teams. I can't imagine that's going to end up as a long discussion. Maybe we can see from this angle how close it was. Close, but I didn't see a movement from the line. The point is Brazil's. So Brazil now have got themselves into this set and into this match. Well, sterling effort from Kobel, not known for his blocking, but Ricardo knew that he was there at the net, so once he did get control of the ball finally, it was relatively simple for Ricardo to hit full power cross court. Wow, that just caught a piece of Kobel's hand. Swiss were unlucky there. So it's not too much to worry about at the moment, but it's a useful cushion, and again, a cut shot of exquisite standard from Stefan Kobel. Swiss need a score here if they're going to do anything. The Brazilians need to keep ploughing on and stay ahead. Good solid side-out play required now. That's exactly what Emanuel does best. Just signalling to his head. One of the things that you often hear from Ricardo and Emanuel is their problem with concentration. Very much as Tim Henman has said in the past with his tennis. Sometimes his concentration drifts. With Ricardo and Emanuel, such is their talent on a beach volleyball court, very often they tend to hand points over to the opposition just purely because they seem almost to get bored and lose their focus. It's a funny situation. But I think the problem for Kobel and Heuscher is that they took the first set, the Swiss lead by 1 set to love, and that may have just been the little wake-up call that Brazil needed. Just needed something to get the focus back. Gotta go. Oh, that wasn't good. But you don't need me to tell you that. And again, this is one of those points that when you're playing out on a court, you know it should have been dispatched. And the more of these points that go begging, the more you start to think maybe this isn't going to be our day. So it falls to Heuscher to serve once again. Got to go over, but oh, unlucky. Unconventional defence from Stefan Kobel, but he was forced into it by the trajectory of the ball off of Heuscher's block, off the top of the fingers, and nearly gets to it. with what is called the tomahawk dig. Too good, Heuscher. That's why he doesn't get a lot of serves. Seems to respect the hitting power of this young man. 27 years old now, lives in Zurich. Fluent in German, French and English. Continuing his university studies. At the same time pursuing his professional beach volleyball career. And for all the teams out on this world tour, it's about qualifying for the Olympics this year. Oh, frustration for Kobel. He just got carried away with it all there and didn't have the presence of mind to try and work the line shot. Wanted to smash it away hard, when really he was just a bit off balance after that marvellous piece of defence. Brazil then still have this handy cushion. Ricardo backs off because the set was quite a long way off the net. That's exactly the right thing to do. But you can't stop brilliance, and Heuscher gets up high, hits it very deep into the corner. It was a quality spike from the man in the black cap. So 8-10. Swiss need to make a bit of a move here. It's in. Goodness me, what defence from both teams. And Heuscher from exactly the same position as he put the last ball away, just recreates the shot. Full marks to Kobel for keeping Switzerland in that rally, and full marks to Emanuel. That is a quality controlled dig. But how's this? Right up in his chest. Emanuel stands still and drops it back into court. And this is shaping up very nicely now. Heuscher to serve. 1 point they trail. And Ricardo restores some balance to the proceedings, just calms it all down with a little short chip shot. It's so easy to forget that the other shots are open to you when you're out there and working hard on the power. Brazil lead 11-9. Emanuel and Ricardo will be enjoying this tussle now. Glorious, absolutely glorious. And if you are learning to play beach volleyball at the moment, you can learn a lot from this game. And if you want to be one of the defenders in the game of beach volleyball, then you have to learn to stand still and get in a position where you can let the ball hit you and get it back into play. And that's what Patrick Heuscher did. Beautiful defence. Stefan Kobel with the jump serve to get the rally underway. This little break. Watch Heuscher break into the cross court in a second. That's that dig from Stefan Kobel. In fact, that was the rally earlier when Kobel just panicked a little, smacked it out the back of court. Announcer doing a good job here in the centre court stadium, just to warm the crowd up, and I do mean warm the crowd up. It's pretty chilly. They look like they do need a bit of help in that department. So back out onto court come the players, and Ricardo and Emanuel. Emanuel, whose favourite film is Braveheart. He just loves all the emotions from that film. Loves it when a game comes to that. But he better better watch out when he starts talking about who his favourite film star is. Because Gstadt, one of the homes of Roger Moore, former James Bond. But Emanuel's favourite film star is Sean Connery, so he better keep that one under his belt. Good finish. Heuscher again outside of Ricardo's block, and you'd have to question what Emanuel was doing in a cross-court position when Ricardo was clearly set up to block cross-court. So maybe just a little miscommunication, or maybe it was Ricardo that changed his mind in the air. Doesn't come much more emphatic than that. Ricardo finding his cross-court mark, completely taking the defence and the block out of the equation. Well, that was interesting. Ricardo, I think, thought he'd hit the ball out the back and reacted very late to come onto court. Now, for some reason, Brazil are deciding to work Patrick Heuscher on the serve at the moment, and it's not reaping any dividends at all. And with one more decent play, Switzerland can get back on level terms at any stage. Good illustration that if you're moving when you try to play defence on a hard-driven ball, it makes it nigh on impossible to control it. If you're already running, then you have power in your body. The ball has power in itself, and when the two meet, that power increases and makes the ball very tough to handle. Good finish through the middle from Kobel, and that was just at the right time, because they change back from Heuscher. Lovely little touch there between Ricardo and Kobel. It's been a great battle between them at the net, and Ricardo just acknowledging this hit. That is a formidable obstacle to hit past. Stefan Kobel has really acquitted himself very well today. Oh, just the net touch. So 15-13, change of ends again, on multiples of 7. The only advantage here on this court is a little bit of breeze blowing from the top to the bottom, so the end that the Brazilians are at the moment, effectively the tough end, because you have the wind behind you on service, which is what you don't want in beach volleyball. The advantage for Switzerland and for Stefan Kobel is that with the wind blowing into their faces, the ball will drop into court much quicker. They can hit the ball that much harder. Classic stuff. And Emanuel's starting to wonder what they've got to do to stop these guys. The #1 seeds from Brazil are in a bit of trouble here. Well, this is very interesting. Ricardo is getting served almost exclusively in this second set, and it's a similar tactic to the first. They had a long period of time where they served Ricardo, and then went back to Emanuel when the pressure points were on. There's a certain amount of fragility about Emanuel under pressure. That's huge. That is huge. Kobel is locked in to a side-out game, and he just wants to ignore everything now. He just has to stay focused on the job in hand. Don't let any other thoughts get into his head, and try to keep recreating these marvellous side-out plays. That is a terrific shot cross-court. Quality, world-class beach volleyball. And if Switzerland had lost that rally, then they would have been unlucky, because there were two plays in there that were just of the highest standard you can imagine. And after a patient game in this second set, Switzerland are back on level terms. Again, the block is signalled. 2 single finger signals means a line block. 16-all in the second set. Switzerland lead by 1 set to love, and the atmosphere diffused in a split second by that service error from Patrick Heuscher. Brazil once again have the advantage, but a simple side out, and I don't mean simple really, it's always tough, but a side out from Switzerland get them back on level terms again. And it's Emanuel's turn to shine. Somehow picked up the cross-court shot from Heuscher by hook or by crook, just got his body in the way, and then it was all about Emanuel being in the driving seat. You cannot play a line shot against Emanuel short, because he will play it every single time. Stefan Kobel now remembers that. Nearly. Got a bit handcuffed on that one, did Emanuel. He stands so shallow in defence because of his speed around the court. He does provide a good target to swing at. Trouble is, he plays all the balls up into the air, so at least there's a chance for Ricardo, but not on that occasion. The big man can't get down to the plate. And Ricardo's blocking has almost been non-existent in this match. We await to see whether he will find a rich vein of form in that department at some stage, and that could win it for the Brazilians. Got to come over. Now, there's a bit of a debate, and Ricardo is saying, what are you doing playing an open hand shot to Patrick Heuscher? And I have to say, I completely agree. Well, it was close. It was close. I think maybe Ricardo has overreacted slightly, but it was pretty close. And when Patrick Heuscher then said that Ricardo had done the same, Ricardo reacted quite angrily. Brazil have the upper hand now in the second set after looking like they were in trouble. Kobel going for the field goal, just catches a fragment of Ricardo's block, otherwise that would have been out. Switzerland survive. Again, the line block signalled for Heuscher, so he will sprint into the net past his partner Kobel and then await the attack of the Brazilians. It's a simple float serve. Ricardo again. They keep serving Ricardo, so the tactics have changed for Switzerland. It's not doing them too many favours because Brazil have set point, and it looks as if yet another semi-final and yet another match here in Gstadt will go all the way to a tiebreaker set. All 3 women's games that we covered yesterday did that. I'm not if Kobel and Heuscher have got something to say about it. Terrific stuff, back to form from Kobel. He's played very, very well indeed on side out, but Swiss need a good serve here. Their serving's been a little too easy over the last 5 or so minutes. Who will they go to? Will Ricardo get the ball again? I strongly suspect Emanuel. Emanuel gets the serve. And Kobel's dug it. Good set here from Heuscher required. It's tight. And it's down. And what did I tell you about Ricardo's blocking? If there is an opportunity to clamp the ball, the big man will do it. 10 times out of 10, and I'm not joking about that. He has got a seriously good statistical record in tight blocks. And Brazil take the second set by the same score as Switzerland took the first. 21 points to 19, courtesy of that massive block from Ricardo. And the Brazilian boys are fired up now. It's 1-1. We're going to a decider. So 21-19 confirmed as the second set result. The smiles are back on the faces. And I wonder if that's a whole drinks bottle full of coffee to try and get the Brazilians going, because in that first set they were just slightly out of sorts, but the play of the Swiss hit them like a sledgehammer. Patrick Egger, the coach to the Swiss team, will be hoping that they come out in this tiebreaker set to 15 points in the same vein as they've played the whole of this match. One of the brilliant rallies that occurred in that last set, finally finished by Switzerland, and it really was their point all the way. Blue visor and Emanuel in the yellow cap. Deciding set to 15 points, and Brazil get the first point on the board. Early scoring, fast scoring required if you're going to get the advantage in the deciding set. It's rare to see a team come back from a deficit in the tiebreaker. Emanuel to serve. Good pass, very good pass from Kobel, and that's a great finish. And in terms of the neutral watching this match, this is exactly what we need to happen. We need Switzerland to continue playing the same brilliant beach volleyball that they've played all morning so far in this game. Great cut shot from Ricardo. Hits that ball away from his body so well. Being 6'7" does help, but you still need that hand control. You still need that coordination in the air. And the big man has it in abundance. Great stuff. Well, if Kobel was in any doubt at all about what the tactics of the Brazilian team would be coming out to this deciding set, he now knows exactly what they are. They're going to serve him for the rest of this game, and he has one responsibility. That's to keep making the side outs. Just let the rest of the game flow. Concentrate on getting the ball on to the sand. Heuscher upset with himself, just mistimed his jump. This really was the blocker's ball. He should have been able to get down and turn, but instead he took a chance, went for the Kong block. It's those split-second decisions that will cost you or win you points. Flat, open hand, changed to single finger, so some complex signalling going on from Ricardo to Emanuel. Well, what's been called is a net touch. That's unusual. You don't see Ricardo touch the net a lot. 3 points apiece. It was Heuscher that got the last serve, so all round that was a shaky point from Brazil. They've changed ends again, so Switzerland are up the tough end now. Won't be able to get quite as much pressure on with the serves. Ricardo's keyed in now to his line shot, and what originally seemed like a good idea, serving Ricardo, has cost Switzerland the second set, and he's costing them points in the third. Matter of time, surely, before the team in red decide to go back to Emanuel. Well, it just shows how much control over the ball Switzerland have, that shot. Heuscher took a massive look through the net before he hit it. Just watch him look down, then up, and back into the spike, and the ball was exactly where he thought it would be. Kobel just a little apology, he thought the set was too far off the net, but it looked good to me. Oh, nearly an ace. And the plan so nearly worked for Switzerland. They've served Ricardo time and time again, and then at the critical stage, chucked a serve back to Emanuel, and Emanuel had already run off towards the net. Suddenly realised the ball was coming to him, And in one of his spectacular cat-like full-length dives, Emanuel rescues the point. Brazil 5-4. Good. Doesn't always have to be spectacular. Sometimes it just has to be workmanlike. That's what's impressed me about Stefan Kobel today. Too much heat for Emanuel on that occasion. Now, change of ends. Switzerland have advantage with the wind blowing towards them. It's not that much of an advantage. The wind is swirling a little, but it does mean they can put pressure on the serve. It's just going to go out, so Emanuel returns the compliment to Kobel. Cross-court shot. Too much heat. Still too tight to call, really, although you'd have to say Emanuel and Ricardo look a lot more settled than they did in the first set. That has to be ominous for Switzerland. Heuscher, my goodness. The guy in the number 2 vest has played so well in this match. Has had relatively little to do in comparison to his partner, who's been served all day, but when he has had to play, he hasn't put a foot wrong. He's done it again. The ball now being served back to Emanuel, so the tactics once again have gone through a change. The game plan is coming into operation, and Heuscher jumps right into the cross court of Emanuel. And Emanuel didn't see him. Oh, what a comeback from Ricardo. Huge shout into the face of Kobel after he made that cross-court block. This is great stuff. Lovely read from Kobel, and he must have been thinking, this is it, 2-point lead. Not today, says Ricardo. And what was Heuscher doing? He should have been covering. That ball was playable. 7-all. Well seen, Kobel. Just saw Emanuel try and sneak a line there. That have regained some momentum, and the lucky ace does it. Well, immediately, Patrick Heuscher apologises to Brazil for that. Catches the tape. This is unplayable. Absolutely unplayable. Switzerland lead by 2, and Ricardo is served again. Oh, huge. You know what's going to happen with Ricardo once there's been a point like that. Ricardo wants to set the record straight. That was straight down from the big Brazilian. And it will be Ricardo Alex Costa Santos to serve. And great block from Emanuel. Heuscher got conned into thinking that that was a straightforward swing at the ball and Emanuel wouldn't offer resistance. What a jump! That is massive from Emanuel. And he does it with such ease. That little advantage Switzerland had gained, cancelled. Brazil now in the hunt, once again. And just out. That nearly looked like it took a piece of Heuscher on the way, but in the end, convincingly off the block and out. And the little punch from Heuscher afterwards shows that this is getting really tight now on court. The number 1 seeds looking at an exit in the semi-final. And Switzerland looking at a potential finalist. Point chance again, Switzerland. He's missed it. Oh dear. That's all you can say about that shot. Oh dear. Terrible set from Emanuel, great tomahawk dig from Kobel, and then tried just too hard to get the ball on the floor. Where was the power, Stefan? The block from Ricardo really playing on the minds now of the Swiss team. Good finish, Heuscher. What a commanding spike. Patrick Heuscher has really put some muscle on over the winter break, sorry. And that is telling. Oh, it's down! What a massive block from Patrick Heuscher, and as this third set progresses, Patrick Heuscher is starting to deliver beach volleyball of the highest quality now from him. And another block on Ricardo. Ricardo has been in his pocket all day. And Ricardo extracts himself from the Swiss pocket with a huge line shot there. Doesn't look happy, does he, the big man? Brazil trail by 1. Good control from Switzerland. Had no right to attack.